Hi, this is Mr. Campagna. Today we're going to be looking at some tools for increasing student literacy and math accessibility through Microsoft's Office suite. Now, as you're probably already aware, New York City Department of Education provides a downloadable version of Microsoft Office for teachers, staff, and students. Now, this version can be accessed by going to the New York City Department of Education website, and in the search box, just type in Microsoft software, and it'll be your second option right there. So you could also go through home learning, blended learning, technical tools, and it'll bring you to the same place. So this provides a link where anybody with a New York City Department of Education email address can download the software onto their device, whether it's an iOS device, Android, or Microsoft Windows. All right, now that we're on this page here, we have our link, portal.office.com. You're going to click through on that, and it's going to bring you to a sign-in page, your typical DOE sign-in. Now, I'm already signed in on this machine, so it brought me straight to my hub with my email. You'll notice in the top right here, we have this Install Office button. If you click that, you got a few options. You directly install Office, including Outlook, OneDrive, Excel, PowerPoint, a couple other ones. We're going to be using OneNote today. So that all comes down with it. And if you do have students that are ELLs, got to mention that you probably want to have them install a different language pack as well. Now that we have the Microsoft Office suite installed onto this device, we can now open up any Office document that we want, and we could use a very powerful tool called Immersive Reader. So Immersive Reader was originally developed with students with dyslexia, and they needed a way to focus them down on a smaller set of words and remove much of the distractions to allow the students to better read what they were given. And the way to access that would be to go to View, and under the Immersive tab here, you'll see you have two boxes. You have one called Focus and one called Immersive Reader. If I click on Focus, you'll see that it blacks out all the surroundings and it gives the entire page. Now that can be helpful, but I want to show Immersive Reader. So with this tool, you can see you have some other options here, such as column width to make it very narrow, help localize what they should be focusing on. You can alter the page color. Some students find that reading with a black background is much better. You also have other color choices as well. One of my personal favorite is line focus. You can narrow it down so that only one line is being highlighted at a time. Again, it's all about making things easier to focus on. We could edit the text spacing so words are spaced further apart, thus making it easier to read and identify separate words. And for some students, syllables to break up words how they're said. And probably the most common use is read aloud.
Could be used to name features observed by Perseverance. Mission scientists worked with the Navajo, or Dine, engineer on the team.
So you can see Microsoft Immersive Reader has some pretty cool tools in it. There are other features that are available in Microsoft OneNote that they don't have available on here as well, which I'll show you in a moment. So those are some of the features for Microsoft Word's Immersive Reader. Let's now take a look at some translation features that we could find by going to the Review tab, clicking on Translate, and you have an option. You could either translate a small selection of the article, whatever's highlighted, or translate the entire document. So let's do that. On the right-hand side here, you can see that you have the selection is Document, and we're going from English to Spanish, and you click Translate. And just like that, as simple as it is, it translates the document. You could then save this as a second document and send it off to students that need it. So now I've opened up the same document in Microsoft OneNote. And in case you're not familiar with OneNote, OneNote is basically a note-taking software program. It's very intuitive. You can drop notes, pictures, anything really you want within this format. But the one thing I like it for is how Immersive Reader is slightly different and a little bit more advanced. So if you feel daring enough to learn a new tool, if you don't already know OneNote, if you go to the Learning Tools, you'll see you have Immersive Reader just like before. And by clicking on this, it jumps you right into a very organized view of those notes, very readable, spaced out. And you'll see some familiar things like text size. We could increase the spacing. You could adjust the font. You could also adjust the background color like we've said from before. Under grammar options, you could also highlight nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, and they color code them. Definitely could be helpful for certain students. We have that syllable breakdown like we had from before. And one thing that comes in handy for quite a lot of people is the picture dictionary feature. So for picture dictionary, you would click on a word and it provides an image that goes along with that word. International, Earth. All right, now I'd like to give you a quick overview of some of the features of Microsoft's Immersive Math. Now, if you have a smart device that you can draw on, great. Otherwise, if you're on a PC with just a regular monitor for a screen, you can pick up for about $40 one of these drawing tablets online, and it makes inputting your information so much simpler. So if you've ever tried to write in complex mathematical formulas onto a PowerPoint, you know it can be tedious and annoying, but not so much with OneNote. So if you just click here on Ink to Math, you're going to have this pop-up box that comes here, and you can start by writing in a formula. So I'm going to start with the quadratic equation. X equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. If it makes a mistake, you can go back. 4ac over 2a. And then you just click insert and it drops it right in. With other features, you could also just start drawing. So this is a test. This could be whatever notes you want. And then down here, I could say 2 plus 2 equals 4. Now you can highlight this section, click ink to text. It converted it into text. You can modify that. This is a text. It's usually pretty good with that. And then down here, we have our 2 plus 2 is 4. You can then click ink to math. It'll write it in there for you. So it makes things much easier if you're going to be doing things with equations or math, and for getting it into the computer, getting it digitized, and getting it to become more accessible. And if you go to the equation tab here, you'll notice that Microsoft OneNote provides you a list of some common complicated equations. It would be a little bit annoying, to say the least, to have to manually even write this in by hand. At least by doing that, you can click and it will drop it right into your document. So today I've showed you how to download and install Microsoft's Office Suite from the DOE's website. Remember, this is a free tool. It's accessible to all students, staff, and teachers. Now that you have the software installed and you know how to use it, the only thing different that you may have to do is to start providing students with files of .doc and a file that's compatible with OneNote. This way they could utilize the Immersive Reader features. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.